Hello and welcome back to the podcast. We have quite a bit of catching up to do. We were not here last week, and the last time we seen you guys was before Thanksgiving.
Wild times.
Wild times. A lot has gone on in the past few weeks. So we figure let's start with a little bit of a Thanksgiving recap. We talked about how I was going to the game. The Lions were going to win. Obviously, they did.
They sure did.
No surprise there. Also, the Thanksgiving parade happened, and apparently it was not the best case scenario for, do you say it Dasha?
I think Dasha is correct.
Okay, so that's the boots singer.
Yes,
Austin.
Did your boots stop working? Did your truck?
Okay.
down?
Don't get us demonetized now. It's very close to the original, so
But my tone was probably quite off, so I think we're good there. Yeah, she did not have the best of times in the parade, but that is not her fault. It was raining quite
heavily.
So it did destroy her hair, and her mic destroyed her lipstick. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see this.
Oh my gosh, how?
I don't know. I was at the game.
Well, there was TikToks of this. Like she was being called out. I think the people were with her.
Why
it was
are people not
reasonable.
understanding? Like,
I was understanding. It wasn't her fault that she has extensions and she has naturally curly hair. So the extensions were going straight and her hair was curling. There was a lot going on there. And
That's tough.
She was allegedly, but probably, most likely, lip singing as one does when they are in a holiday parade. I don't think that almost anybody sings for real in a parade. Maybe, but she had her mic so close to her lips, and she was wearing red lipstick, and it went.
That's tough.
It went everywhere, but she took it like a champ. I think she laughed at herself a bit on TikTok, so she's good. But that was quite the hot topic as of Thanksgiving weekend.
I will be honest, sometimes when I watch performances, even just live, I think about like all the angles that they show people from, and I'm like, I would never want that.
No.
It's just too personal.
It is too much. It's too up in your business.
And especially in this case, like that's unfortunate.
It's tough. Her stylist tried to help her, or her makeup artist. Somebody was on that.
Like
float,
while she was performing?
No, it was like seconds before she was performing. They were up there
trying to
her,
fix it.
And then you just saw somebody, like, as she was starting to sing, like, quickly, like, escort themselves off the stage. But I'll have to show you a clip of it.
That's tough. Well,
it was tough. But you were at the game.
I was at the game, and I will say we saw a very good performance, on the other hand, from Shabuzi. And we were talking about how, like, we hoped they stepped it up this year because for whatever reason, Thanksgiving shows just don't tend to go well, as we've learned. Another example, Dasha. And so we were not sure how this was going to go, but they clearly increased the budget on this one because
they should.
It was amazing. It was looking good. I didn't see like what it looked like on TV. I just saw what it looked like there. And center of the field, lights, big stage, dancers, the whole thing.
That was the best part about it. They had dancers, and they also brought like some crowd in front of the stage. So the field was activated, as we were talking about previously, that they really just need to activate the entirety of the field for it to go well. And it did. It went really well.
Yeah, they definitely showed up this year. I don't know if the budget was increased
it
or
had to have been
what went on, but they must have heard all the critiques from the previous years and stepped it up. Who didn't step it up, though? The Bears coach was fired the morning after the game. That was a tough thing to wake up to after a Thanksgiving day, I'm sure, for him.
That was so sad to see. I mean, I just can't believe that coaches can be fired that quickly. Like,
I didn't know that was a thing either. Like mid-season, you just
I thought that if they were going to be fired, it would have been at the end of the season. But you're just gonna get rid of your head coach mid-season.
It's a wild thing to do, but apparently it happens. And I guess this was like in the making, long time coming. People knew this was gonna happen, but this Thanksgiving game solidified it. And I will say it was a tough watch just as someone that was there, because truly we were actually like, wow, this is a close game. We could not win this.
It was very
nerve-wracking. And then they made such a huge mistake. It was like, I didn't even feel like good when we left. I was like embarrassed for
I was embarrassed for them. I didn't know how to feel. Like, I was, of course, happy that we won, but it didn't feel like a win. It felt like, what just happened?
Yeah, that's definitely, that was I think the vibe of the environment.
I felt like that meme that's going around on TikTok right now. It's the Muppets character with their mouth open and their eyes wide.
Frantic.
Yes, just frantic. That is almost identically to how I looked watching the end of that game, because I couldn't believe it.
Same. It was a tough one. I also was a little bit worried after the game too, because we saw that the Lions Gibbs posted a picture with like their playboard in the back, and part of me I was getting mixed messages. I feel like that could have been done purposely to throw people off.
100%.
Which it's like, honestly, I was thinking about this. Why don't teams use social media to their advantage more these days?
And maybe that's a page out of Dan Campbell's playbook
that he's creating.
Yes. That, okay, we're going to throw some people off. I mean, the Lions have been all over my social media just in general.
I agree, but it's more so just talking about actual game stuff or like goofing around, like doing trends, not necessarily anything related to gameplay.
The actual
But
plays.
I feel like we're in such a time where like you could use it to your advantage, because I mean, if it was real, Dan Campbell's quote on it was like, anyone who actually cared enough to know this information can study our plays and learn this information.
Right.
So like they deserve to have it then. But also, like, if it wasn't real and that was, it could have been to their advantage and really thrown the other teams off, because they could have been studying the gameplay and been like, wait, this isn't the play. Oh my god,
this isn't that,
and really confuse people. So that's just my 2 cents as a stand-in bystander viewer coach from my couch.
Love to hear it.
But also, there was a Dan Campbell lookalike contest.
And I can't believe we missed this.
It was in Detroit at Hopcat, and I also can't believe we missed this. But I guess it wasn't that huge of a turnout, because a lot of people didn't know about it beforehand. It was like Hopcat was advertising it, but just it didn't get picked up anywhere. So like not that many people showed up.
It wasn't a known thing.
It's wild though, because we've talked about so many lookalike contests happening this year.
Such a trend, I feel like, since the Timothée Chalamet
in New York. Yes. They did that. And then there was Jeremy Allen White lookalike. Mm-hmm. Los Angeles, they had a Shrek impersonation contest. And the prize was $500 and a bag of onions. And like someone actually won.
I mean, that's a good prize. The prize for the Dan Campbell contest was free fries, which is more than enough for me.
See, personally, if I would have known the prize was free Hopcat Cosmic fries for a year, I would have entered for a year.
I thought it was for a day.
For a year. I would have entered just solely on that fact.
I think you could have did it.
I think so too.
There were plenty of girls there, or at least a girl there. They wore the mustache, the whole get up. I would have loved to be at a Dan Campbell lookalike contest.
What I really liked about this one specifically too, I don't think in the other lookalike contests they made people like
do impressions,
but this one they had the people stand up there and give like game day speeches.
I love that. I haven't seen that part
and
yet.
They were pretty spot on, to be honest.
Love that. I love a Dan Campbell game day speech. It's very motivating, very heartfelt. I mean, we all know how I feel about Dan. So the fact that I wasn't there.
You should have been there.
I should have been there. But Brian sent me a, I don't know what it was. It wasn't a TikTok. He sent me something of it. He's like, you could have been in this.
You could have won in this. I agree. Should have definitely been there. Also, though, people were like hoping Dan Campbell would show up because I guess in a press conference, someone brought it up to him like before the event. So he knew it was happening. So he knew it was happening. So people were hoping he'd show up because like we talked about Timothée Chalamet showed up to his lookalike contest and like some people were showing up to theirs. I guess there was also a Glenn Powell lookalike contest somewhere and like he couldn't go, but he like sent in a video to like
that's fun.
The winners. Yeah, there was like a Harry Styles one, Glenn Powell, like a bunch of these have been going on. Many.
I really think the Timothée Chalamet one started it all. And did you see he was on Game Day, College Game Day?
Oh my gosh, yes. And then that's all. He went on. He was talking about football.
All of the other reporters to shame.
I was thinking about this though. Obviously, he probably watches and like has good knowledge, but also if he just like studied it before, he's an actor, so he can memorize things so well.
100%.
Actors would honestly be perfect for doing announcing because their memories. Sometimes that's what really gets me about acting. I'm like, how do you remember
this entire script from front to back and know your lines? That's actually so true. But I was never necessarily, I wasn't not a Timothée Chalamet fan.
But that made you like him more?
Oh my gosh. I was like, who is this guy? His pink jacket, I was obsessed with it.
I feel like a lot of the comments were like so impressed with
everybody was like
that changed their view on him.
It was one of the most impressive things I've witnessed this year was his takes. He was just his delivery, his content. I was like, I mean, Timmy knows ball. And that's what the comments said too.
Before we get back to the episode, let's take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Uncommon Goods. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that it's exactly what I wanted feeling. That's why I love Uncommon Goods. Uncommon Goods makes it easy to get the perfect gift for every single person you know. They scour the globe for original, handmade, and absolutely remarkable things. A few of my favorite gifts from their site are these mini appetizer boards with a serving stand so your guests can build their own grazing boards, or you can set them out at each guest's table setting. As a self-proclaimed hostess with the mostest, I can confidently say these are perfect for your friends that's always hosting. Another great find on Uncommon Goods website are these custom chocolate footballs filled with custom treats and your team's colors for football fans to break open at their next game day gathering. I love that these are custom handmade and such a unique gift, perfect for a football lover, game day going host in your life. When you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches, so shop now before they sell out this holiday season. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/shady. That's uncommongoods.com/shady for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. Thank you to Uncommon Goods for sponsoring today's episode. Well, I will say, what also changed our view on some people is, you know, Mr. Joe Burrow. It's wild that like the NFL is really getting entangled into just TikTok, pop culture as one does. But Joe Burrow allegedly had his house burglarized while he was in his last NFL game against the Dallas Cowboys. Apparently, this has been a thing that's been going on.
It has. It happened to Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes.
It's so messed up, but I'm also shocked that these people don't have security. Like, 100%. Hearing that, it was like, Travis Kelce especially.
Totally.
I could definitely see him now since being with Taylor having it, but shocking. But the more shocking part of this whole thing was that Olivia Ponton, who is a TikToker and Instagram, was the one who called it into the police because she was actually at his house in Ohio while he was away.
And his mother. And not his mother.
And her mother. And you know what's so funny about this? Honestly, when I heard that part of it, I was like, that is so like girl coded. That is so something that I could see us doing. Like calling our parents first and being like, hey, wait. So like I think this is happening, but like maybe
what if it's
not?
Should I call the cops?
And then them calling for us, like,
no, 1,000%.
As mature as we are, as old as we are, as pregnant as I am, I still feel like I would be like, can you call for me? Like, yes. I'm scared to be wrong.
Yes. No, I would be so overwhelmed that I think that, like, in any crisis situation, I would, because you're not always thinking clearly in that situation. And I think that I very easily could call my mom first thing and say, like, oh my God, I think this is happening.
Same. I'd be like, am I overreacting? Like, what if I'm wrong and they come and I get in trouble? Like,
right. What if they're pissed?
Yeah. So I feel like that was definitely something I could see us doing. But also, Joe Burrow was not happy that this got reported on. And supposedly in the police report, they put that she was his employee.
Right. Which, like, no chance.
Right.
People were saying, and I've read so many comments on this because it's all my TikTok For You page is bad as like every other video is something about this. And people were like, no, that's not his new girlfriend. They said in the report that she works for him. And it's like, okay, let's use our context clues. Let's, read between the lines. I do not think she's employed by Mr. Joe Burrow.
Right. But also that's what actually I think bothered me the most about this whole situation, because he also never really posted his ex-girlfriend that they were together forever. People thought they were engaged.
For years, yes.
And he really never posted her on social media or like talked about her, to the point where people literally didn't even barely know if they were engaged or not.
100%.
And like, he's starting to strike me as toxic.
Honestly, after seeing his press release, and I never thought I would say anything like this because
this is shocking to come from you.
I loved, past tense, Joe Burrow. Now, after these comments, amongst others, because there was a video clip of him that went around Halloween time where he said he did not understand.
He didn't like Halloween.
He didn't understand the thought of just dressing up for no reason, and I felt attacked.
I personally sent that to you because I felt it was something you needed to know.
It was something I needed to know.
And it definitely changed your view then. And I hate to say this, but I feel like as soon as he frosted his tips of his hair,
things got weird. No, things for sure got weird.
I don't know if it's correlated, but something...
He put some bleach in his hair, and maybe it got to his head because...
It did.
Then there was also a video of him. I'm not trying to shit on Joe Burrow right now. So sorry. But there was also a video of, like, the team. You know how sometimes NFL teams, NBA teams, whoever they might be, they'll set up a camera somewhere and they'll have some kind of question or a prompt, like social media team sets it up. And for Halloween... I want to say they had a bunch of pumpkins set out and you could decorate a pumpkin, something like that.
This is going to be heartbreaking.
And he looked at the camera and he was like, don't film me decorating this pumpkin. And I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? I mean,
oh my
Joe
gosh.
fucking Burrow, but what? I don't know. And here's the thing. He's my quarterback for my fantasy team right now. So, like, I'm supposed to be...
So you hope this doesn't impact him. However...
Truly, because I'm in the playoffs. My fantasy team is doing great. But, like...
This could affect
What
him.
is this attitude?
We need things to turn around.
And so, like...
You need to win your fantasy football. He needs to get it together.
Right. So it's, like, not just this one instance of him acting this... Because I can understand being frustrated that your house got broken into. That's so fair and so valid. I get that.
But the girl thing to, like...
Continue to hide relationship.
I'm pissed for her.
For the new Olivia?
Also,
I'm pissed for both Olivias.
Yeah, because also, like, that was probably scared for her.
From one Olivia to another Olivia?
That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
That is tough. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm. That was his ex's name that he was with for years.
I'm sensing some toxicity from this
situation. His ex seems like a gem. I follow her on Instagram, and I think she's...
So you're, like, tad biased, but also...
Yes.
But also for new Olivia, like, we don't like that we're being called an employee here.
Right. Why is she being called an employee?
At this point, like, you're caught, just be like, yeah, so what? That's not your business. You shouldn't have known that.
We would like some privacy.
Let's move along. Employee,
we're going to belittle her.
I hope she called him after that and was like,
we're through.
It's over.
I'm not being called anyone's employee.
You just put me through this.
People were saying that she was like the housekeeper's daughter also. That's like another rumor out there. I don't know where it's coming from, if it's coming from Joe's camp, but
get it together.
I don't know. It's an attitude that I'm not
fond of.
No.
I see that. Also, in other news with some NFL players, Josh Allen got engaged to Haley Steinfeld. And that was kind of surprising me. I didn't know they were dating.
You didn't?
No. And also, I have a hard time categorizing her in my head because there's part of me that remembers her from like being in some funny movies, but then there's also a part of me that like really goes hard for her music that was out at a time.
Oh, yeah.
And so like I don't exactly know what she's up to. I didn't know it was this. And then I find this out and I just feel blindsided. Like, where have you been?
So
where has the music been?
They were that's
comedies.
Actually a problem because I would like definitely 1,000% some more Haley Steinfeld music because she put out bop after bop.
You should sing us something.
I've been hoping somebody
okay. And again,
lyrics might have been
we would do there. More, but demonetize and all that. We don't.
But I know y'all want to hear my voice. It's beautiful.
It's tough. But yeah, so they got engaged. I didn't realize this was happening. He had a girlfriend for like 7 years. Yep. Started dating Haley Steinfeld.
They've been together for just over a year, and they've been on the private side of things. They posted each other here and there. Sparingly, they hosted a Halloween party together. It was circus themed.
So we support this.
We totally support this. I think they're a super cute couple. They're very, from what I've seen of them, super cute together. You would have loved their Halloween party. I will be looking into it. It looked 10 out of 10.
I will probably look into it and cry. Yes, considering we missed out on ours that this year. We did.
They were both dressed up as ringleaders together. It was chef's kiss.
Cute.
So I really support them as a couple. Somebody that doesn't support them as a couple is her co-star. Her co-star.
Yikes. I'm sorry, what? From what?
The voice of Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse, because she voices Gwen Stacy, Spider-Man's love interest. Mm-hmm. So the actor who voices Miles, Shamik Moore, I think I'm saying that correctly. Forgive me if I am not. But minutes after the engagement was posted, he tweeted, "There's still more people to meet, more opportunities to come, and more chances to try. Live, learn, apply." And then that was later on deleted. And people started to speculate, like, oh, was that tweet in regards to the engagement? Because apparently when they were promoting the last movie,
people thought they were together?
No.
Okay.
He would say things in interviews that were like he was interested in her.
Oh.
But she was clearly not having it, not interested.
Maybe like a friend zone situation.
Yep, totally a friend zone situation.
Yikes.
So then he tried to cover up what he said before. Had no idea Haley's engaged. That's amazing. I'm here reflecting on 2024 goals that are rolling over to 2025.
We don't know. I mean,
that's timing.
Exactly. So you just...
No one's buying it.
Okay. Well, I won't say one way or the other. I don't know about all that. I didn't even know she was in the Spider-Verse.
I didn't realize that either. I have not watched those movies. I hear great things about them.
I do too. I feel like people love those.
People really do love them, and I love a good Spider-Man movie.
We know.
So maybe I'll put that on my list of something to watch over this holiday season.
I feel like our list is growing here, but also, you know, we had Haley Steinfeld releasing some sick music for a while.
Heck yeah, we did.
We miss it. We love it. We want it back.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of music, we had some list come out from Billboard.
Some list.
Some people are saying, you know, pish posh.
This list means nothing.
And, you know, on this list, Taylor Swift was named the second biggest pop star of the 20th century. And I don't think people would have taken that so hard. Mm-hmm. If also, I don't know if anyone missed this, but this was, you know, a couple weeks ago. when they were doing this. They were each day, I think they were releasing like a new person on the list going, from the bottom to the top.
Yep.
And as they were doing this and putting Taylor at number 2, they used a clip of her from Kanye's old music video that was like big controversy.
Right, because it wasn't even her. It
was not even her.
A mannequin, and this is widely known as something that Taylor
offensive
did not approve of, found very offensive. The world found very offensive. So why would we be using that when there's no shortage of Taylor Swift content, Taylor Swift videos anywhere you can find so much of it. She just put out the Eras Tour movie not that long ago, and you're telling me that you had to go to Kanye West's video for this?
Yeah, people were not happy with this. Billboard did issue an apology, but it was not looking good for them for a while. And yeah, people were saying #Billboard is over party.
I love that. I love that because when they tried to cancel Taylor Swift back in pre-Reputation era, that was the trending hashtag, was the Taylor Swift is over party. And it was, obviously tied to Kanye. So I love that they've taken that hashtag and revamped it for Billboard.
Yeah. Well, in another way, Taylor Swift is over because her Eras Tour has finally wrapped up.
Which is so bittersweet. I have come to terms with it being over.
Oh, not because you went twice or anything.
Not because I went twice or anything, but that did help. That did help with the transition out of this era. Some fans were disappointed that we didn't
they didn't get to go.
They didn't get to go. But also, Reputation wasn't announced. Reputation Taylor's version, debut Taylor's version was not announced either. But I'm at peace with it. I think I liked more that the Eras Tour ended as the Eras Tour. I think if she were to have announced something big during her last set of shows in Vancouver, it would have overshadowed the show in itself. I think we are going to get, a documentary or an Eras Tour movie part 2. So I am hopeful. I will be sat with my popcorn, my Taylor Swift popcorn tin. When that happens, I will wear the friendship bracelets and I'll be ready. And whenever that is, great. Taylor needs a break. She deserves a very long nap.
I feel like this was a never-ending tour.
It truly was. I mean, so much has happened since the tour began in, 2023? You got married, you're having a baby.
It feels like
I bought a house. Like that, all of that and much, much more.
Yeah, it feels like it went on forever. But I'm sure something more will come of it.
Oh, 1,000%. We haven't seen the last of the Eras Tour, but I'm excited for what's next.
Agreed. Also, in more music news, and while we were away, Spotify Wrapped came out for the year.
That it did.
And sad to report, like, honestly, I don't even want to share mine because I feel like I will, but it wasn't even exciting. Like, they didn't give all the information that they normally give. And apparently, people were just not happy with it overall because I guess that the team that Spotify usually has that does the Wrapped was fired last year, allegedly. So people are saying that's why it's so bad. And I guess they tried to use like some kind of AI to generate this Wrapped.
Okay.
And so that's why it wasn't as good as normal.
That makes sense.
I feel like mine was maybe accurate, but I don't know. There was also a part of me that was like, I didn't really listen to that much.
Some people were saying that about the Spotify Wrapped, that it did not feel accurate. I am an Apple Music girly, so my replay, which people were also complaining like, where's the Spotify Wrapped? Like, it's non-existent. When is it showing up? I had access to my Apple replay for a long time. Like, I think starting in November, the beginning of November, I could see like my top listened to songs. Mine felt very accurate.
Okay, well, I guess it's good to know.
I can look. I'll share mine.
I feel like I didn't.
I think I have a screenshot of mine.
I also feel like normally with Spotify Wrapped, like you can just click through and it will show you like your lists at the end. And this year it didn't do that.
Really?
So like made you watch the clip. I don't know. It was.
I feel like that happened with. Apple's was actually really good. I could see by month my top song played for every single month. And then I could see my top album was the Tortured Poets Department, obviously.
No way.
Yep. And then my top artist was Taylor Swift, obviously. But my top song was actually a Gracie Abrams song that featured Taylor Swift.
Also not shocking. I think I want to say that my Spotify Wrapped top artist was Taylor Swift.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So, and then I think it was, I feel like it might have been accurate, but again, like, I don't know, for some reason I feel like I wasn't like playing that much music this year.
Yeah, no, I felt that way too. Like I
wasn't in that many situations where like I had time to like sit down and play music.
100%. I think I listened to the most music driving like to and from work, but
yeah,
my like total number of minutes listening to music, it was
much.
Significantly lower than
same. That's how mine was.
Years.
That's how mine was. So I feel like it wasn't accurate, but yeah, people were not happy with it. And in other music news, recently, Sabrina and Barry broke up, and I was confused when this came out because I was like, is this not old news? No, I thought they'd been broken up.
I thought that they broke up previously too, but then he was at a couple of her concerts.
Yeah, but I thought like maybe it was just
getting
like
back together,
good terms, or getting back together. But yeah, so I thought this was old news. I was not jaw on the floor when I saw this.
No, I wasn't either. It didn't feel like any like surprised but not shocked. What I was surprised by was the why behind it all.
I was also surprised by this
because I did not anticipate another TikToker scandal, if you will, because he supposedly cheated on Sabrina Carpenter with a TikToker who was very much playing into it.
Yeah, so I was confused about that too. I mean, I feel like I've been seeing this more, and again, it's with the rage bait, and I just don't feed into it. Like, I'm like, if you are that desperate that you're willing to like do things to actually just piss people off, like, it's annoying. I'm not interested. No. Like, I will
disengage.
Yeah,
I will block someone.
And that's how I feel with this situation. I feel like, one, I feel like it wasn't true. Two, I feel like this TikToker was just using this scenario to get clout from it and like
1,000%
rage bait the whole thing. But apparently now the TikToker is saying it wasn't true in the first place. So like I don't know why she was feeding into it, but either way, supposedly Sabrina and Barry broke up. Could be from infidelity, could not be. We really don't know, and we're gonna find out, I'm sure, in Sabrina's next album that's bound to be fire, and she's probably
she's gonna be so sick.
Specifically, she will let us know what happened.
No, Sabrina will tell her truth when Sabrina is ready, and that's when we will know what the truth is here.
Until then, I'm not buying any of it.
No, I want to hear it from Sabrina, and that's all I care about. What was crazy was I did see someone theorizing 2025 couples, and they paired her with Joe Jonas.
Wild.
I know. Isn't that kind of crazy?
But like also maybe.
Fitting though. I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it. And it wouldn't be like oh my gosh, them. It'd be like, I understand.
I get it.
Yeah.
I kind of see that. Also what we didn't see yet, and we will be adding to our watch list as we mentioned earlier, Sabrina Carpenter's Christmas special is out on Netflix, and apparently some of it was improv, and they also did it in front of a live studio audience.
No way.
Yeah, and they filmed it in 2 days because she was getting ready to go on her tour. So that's when they filmed
so this was filmed a while ago.
Yes, and also, the production company who filmed it all and directed it, I don't remember which, but came out and said that Sabrina and her sister actually were the ones that were pitching a lot of the sketches to them.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, so like they were super involved in planning this and like all the funny stuff that happened. I guess it's like supposed to be a mix of comedy, singing, celebrity guests, all the things.
I've seen that because Chapel's in it, and I know
Tyla.
Yep. There have been a few clips that I've scrolled through on TikTok and people have been saying this feels so like SNL, like this
yes,
is super
that's
cool.
what they were. Somebody from SNL, I think, helped them work on it. One
That
of the
makes
people who were
sense.
on it, one of the writers.
That's cool.
And then that was kind of what the vibe was supposed to be.
I love that.
And people are, I guess, really loving it. So I am
Very
excited
cool.
to watch it. And it was actually funny because I was like, oh, this was in front of a live studio audience. We were just talking about, like, do people do that anymore?
Yeah, and they sure do.
And they sure do. So that's kind of catching up with a lot of the stuff that has been going on since the last few weeks. Now, let's get into the Shady stories, starting with Shady story number 1. So y'all are going to want to read this one, even if it doesn't make it onto the podcast. I'm 28 years old, and 10 years ago, I started dating the woman of my dreams. She was perfect in every way, or so I thought. We dated for 7 years, and around year 4, things started to take a turn. We started arguing about everything, sleeping in separate rooms, and basically hating each other. Well, as it turns out, she had been sleeping with my best friend. I didn't find out until after we split up. So for 3 years, she cheated on me with my best friend. Shady, right? Well, I think I may have been out-shadied. I may have out-shadied her. So after I found out about her doing the horizontal tango with my best friend, I made it a personal vendetta to exact my revenge. I'm not proud of what I did, but at the time I was. I smooth talked my way into having a triple threat match with her best friend and her sister and his sister. They agreed to video call the other individuals of this story while we were in the act. I know, very horrible thing to do. Now I've been dating someone who is helping me piece together what is left of my heart, and my ex kept it in the family as she is dating my cousin. Anyways, love the podcast. Be safe and stay shady, my friends. The twists and turns.
The twist and
I did not foresee here. Absolutely wild. I don't know in what way you could ever smooth talk her best friend and his sister.
That is not a best friend.
Into video calling.
I think
this whole thing
they met her sister. Like, I genuinely think this was his ex's girl or his ex's
sister.
Yeah.
In either scenario,
bad news.
Absolutely bonkers.
What was going on? And then the fact that, I mean, it just feels like it's going tip for tap because now she's dating his cousin.
I would not, in any scenario,
this is
want to be at this Christmas gathering.
This Christmas is going to be off the charts.
Yeah, the shadiness here is
next
a 10.
level.
It's an 11.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a 12.
15 maybe. Hard to say.
Yes, I'm glad we read this and shared it here.
I am as well, and I'm sure everyone watching is very happy they now know this as well. Shady story number 2. I don't know if this qualifies as a shady story, but I figured I'd share and make some people laugh. I'd have to preface this by saying that I am definitely blessed. While I'm not uber wealthy, my 28 whoever's speaking is 28 years old and the husband is 31 years old, male, are well off. Him especially. His family was successful in some business endeavors, so he has never known a struggle a day in his life. He has always worked hard and never relied on his family's money, but it's safe to say that he's always had food on his plate and enough money to pay for rent, groceries, and utilities. We are currently living in his house that his family kindly gifted us, and we both work. Not super high-paying jobs, but we definitely make ends meet. However, for some reason, my stupid husband, whom I still love very much, still felt the urge to shoplift. And yes, I am face planting myself right now. Look, I'm not the type to shame other people for shoplifting. We are in a recession, times are tough, and sometimes you gotta eat. But if you can afford what you want, I just think it's stupid and dangerous, especially when people like my husband are trying to steal dumb shit. In my case, he tried to steal a cat toy. Of course, he ended up getting caught, and he managed to blame it on the auto cashier machine that didn't scan the items, so they let him go, but I am still a bit baffled. Now I get to watch my cat play with a toy and the smell of catnip and crime, trying to deal with the realization that the man I married is no better than an old lady who steals just for kicks.
I don't understand, but it is a thing. We've talked about this before, haven't we? It's called like kleptomania.
Yes, it's just some people are infatuated with
stealing, with the idea of stealing.
It's a slippery slope, man.
It's an adrenaline rush.
Cat toys, what's tomorrow?
Who's to say?
Who is to say?
Yeah, that's it's a thing. I'm sure there's some type of therapy you could seek for it. It's literally, it was a famous actress that was like
stealing for fun.
Yes.
It's crazy to me. Maybe like steal some cookies from the cookie jar in your own home to get the rush.
Yeah.
And that could maybe help.
No, because I feel like we read a Shady story in the past where one of the roommates would like steal random things from people, like cell phones and stuff, just to like do it. I swear we read a story like that in the past. Did. And it's like that. It's like,
why?
Somebody's just having to steal stuff. Something we don't 100% understand. Maybe if I would have used my psychology degree here, we would have gotten to the root of the issue. Hopefully it stays with the cat stuff and doesn't go any further.
Yep. We one and done, out of our system.
And it ends there. I would say this is like a 7 out of 10.
I agree.
Okay, Shady story number 3. So when I was young and my family moved to a new town, I was being bullied by people. Well, there was this older kid that bullied me every day when I got to school and after I got off the bus. This went on for weeks or so, and one night while I was at home watching this TV show special, it was about circus acts and how clowns can fall down face forward without injury. So of course, after I watched it, I practiced the technique. So the next day when I got to school, the bully grabbed me from behind, and while he had my hands on my backpack straps, pushing and pulling me around, I waited for the right moment, and without him knowing, I fell face forward down on the ground with him falling on me to the ground, and a teacher saw this and pulled him off, and my bully was sent to the principal's office, and I confessed to the teacher that he was picking on me. After that day and stunt I pulled, that kid never picked on me again. This is wholesome.
It is very wholesome. I love that. Honestly, it reminds me of something you'd see out of a movie or like a TV show. I feel like this would definitely be an episode that like focused on bullying, and then you see, a little stunt to do on TV. You get an idea. It works. It's foolproof. The bullies stop. I hate that the bullying was happening, but
could have learned magic and made him disappear.
That would have been great.
But I would have loved that. Went this route. No, I love this. This is wholesome, not shady at all, but wholesomeness.
Good way to end a holiday episode.
Great way. That concludes this week's episode. If you are interested in the Patreon bonus content, you can see us struggle to set up this Christmas set. And we are taking some pointers, anything we need to add to the set.
Yes.
In the comments here. We did struggle hard. So if you would like to see that, join the Patreon bonus content. If not, we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.